We got an absolute smoke show going in for episode 11.
It's a little foggy. We're still trying to dial that in.
Dial it in. It looks awesome in here. Like a laser tag level?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So hopefully it comes across that way on camera. Not too obnoxious, but it's
No.
starting to dissipate. As it'll go on, it'll get better. Easier to see us.
Okay, sweet. I hope it doesn't get easier to see us. I hope we just like fade into the fog through the episode.
Episode's over. They're gone.
It's just a gray screen at the end.
Yeah. How's it going?
Good, man. So 2 weeks ago, I taught at a college. Last week, I did 2 lectures at a high school. It was a very different experience. So the college, it was a CAD class, and they're like super into it and had a ton of questions. The high school students, one, I didn't get to do AutoCAD in front of them because I couldn't connect my computer because of their system or whatever. So I just brought slides and just talked for like 40 minutes. I got some questions from the teachers, but like, and there was a couple students that were engaged. They were good, but it was
Just over their head.
not really, just kind of a snooze fest for them. I think like I had somebody fall asleep in both classes, just right in front of me. Like, do I wake them? Do I not? So I don't know. You never know.
So the college one was more rewarding.
Yeah,
more
for
beneficial.
sure, for sure. And this one was construction. These kids are in the high school construction program and not the CAD program. So what I'm telling them doesn't really relate to their jobs. I mean, they're going to look at floor plans and stuff, but they're not. None of them are interested in creating floor plans. So, yeah. Hopefully, I shared some helpful stuff. Hopefully, not everybody snoozed through it. I don't know. High school kids are tougher too.
Yeah.
Like, they're just not as excited to ask questions. They're not paying to be there, like
Right.
a college kid is. So, yeah.
Yeah. Is it helpful for you to do that though? Like, is it beneficial in any way? For
Yeah,
you?
I think so. I mean, just connections with the community. It's nice to be involved with all that. And then 2, it helps me like making a 45-minute slide deck is a lot different than a short form video or all sorts of stuff. Like, it's just my thought process was so different into it. And I realized, okay, how much time does each slide take? What needs to be on a slide? What am I actually talking about and when? And because when you're sitting in front of your computer making a slide deck, it all kind of makes sense. And then you're up there talking in front of people and you're like, oh, I didn't explain that, and that. Let's go back 6 slides. And
you're always going to have some of that.
Yeah.
Like, anytime you're presenting,
Yeah. But I think it was helpful to get, like I said, I want to get into consulting more. I think that would be fun. And to just do this process in a really low stakes environment was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Just practice that muscle.
And once you make those slide decks, they probably can just be reused, right?
Yeah. I'm just going to tweak the stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff I just pulled from my YouTube videos, like stills that I had already made for other stuff I was explaining. So, yeah, it was fun.
So did they reach out to you, the high school, or did you reach out to them after you did the college one?
So, no, they're the college one, I'm buddies with the professor. He was like, yeah, I'd love to have you show stuff to the students. For the high school one, I'm actually on the board for the building trades program at the Career Center for Porter County. So they said, we're not building a house this semester for a ton of different reasons. They're like, hey, we're looking for just some people to fill some time with the kid. Like, there's only so much you can do if you're not building a house with a construction trades program. Like, these teachers have kind of exhausted the projects they can get the kids on. So, so she asked the board if anybody would be willing to talk. I'm like, sure, I will. So yeah, it was cool.
Nice. Yeah, it was a nice weekend. Watched some Cubs games. It was kind of nasty out yesterday, but we were able to get outside. We went for a little walk, and we live right by Forest Park, the golf course. So Bill and I took like 2 clubs and just like played a couple holes. Like, I had a 9-iron and a putter, and no one was out there because it wasn't that nice out.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it was kind of fun. Like, I've never done that before. We just like take 2 clubs, play a couple holes, and it's fun. It's fun being at that age where like you have a fun idea as the parent, and then they just like latch onto it, and he did not want to leave.
Yes. Yeah.
He was like, he wanted to just keep doing putting contests on one of the greens, so like that's kind of fun. Like when you have kids and they just get super into stuff, and then you're like, okay, I thought it was a fun idea too. Like, but you get to the point where like, all right, this is a little played out. Like, let's head home. But like, there was one time I was like, let's play football in the basement. Our basement's like tiny because we have, it's not a full, we have crawl space on like both sides. So it's like a small basement, but I was like, let's play like a little game of football. I'll play on my knees and I'll tackle you. And then over the winter, it was like every single night you get home, like he's got the football, like, let's go, let's play some football. Like, okay, I thought that was going to be like a one-time thing.
And sometimes it is, but like I did a similar thing with my son, diving catches in the basement.
Oh yeah, we do diving catches all the time.
It was like any spare moment. It's like, I cannot say no to my son asking to throw the football in the basement.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I did as a little kid. Like that's so hard to say no to. So yeah, it was unending.
You can kind of take yourself, when you're a parent, you can kind of take yourself back to like when you were a kid. I was feeling like I should, because Bill and Ellen have email accounts, and whenever like I haven't given them to them yet, but like whenever we have a fun day or something, take a funny picture of them, I'll email it to them, and then like when they're 18, or whenever they have their email address, they'll be able to see all those old emails.
Oh, that's such a neat idea.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's a way to just kind of capture some memories.
Yeah.
So, where was I going with that? I can't remember, but
diving catches in the basement.
Yeah, I don't know.
The football.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, I like doing that, and
that's awesome.
Who knows? Yeah.
So we went couch shopping yesterday, and my daughter has started to she's 14 now, think about more of life as an adult and business and stuff. And she's like, we got done, and she's like, is that guy that helped us, will he make money if we buy a couch from him? I'm like, yes, he will. That's a great question. Like, he works on commission. Can you tell like he was really responsive? He came back and checked on us a few times. He printed stuff out. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, at a grocery store, if you ask somebody to help you like that, do they? And she's like, no. I'm like, an extremely well-trained an employee that cares will walk you to the thing you're looking for. But usually you just get somebody that points and says, hey, it's in aisle 7. She's like, oh, that's, it's cool to see her processing the business world. I keep telling her, like, Eleanor, you would be deadly at sales because you have an awesome combination of you're extremely kind and outgoing. Like, people like to be around you, and you're extremely persistent. Like, you won't say no. You won't give up and take no for an answer. And that together, I'm like, and sales is everything. Like, you're
especially if you're not going to get like crushed by rejection or like a no, if that doesn't
Right. And she doesn't. She just plows through.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. The point I was going to make though was, like, I remember being a kid and that feeling of like when dad comes home, so that's what I was going to say. I wanted to like email Bill and tell him like, hey, when you're a dad, remember that feeling. Cause I remember that feeling, and it's easy when you're the parent to like take yourself out of that and be like, playing football in the basement right now. Like after a long day or whatever,
Yeah.
But just trying to like, feed into that and remember, that feeling like when your dad came home from work and how like that excitement that you got, like feeding into that, but also making sure they understand like, hey, when you're a dad, remember that and do the same thing with your kids.
100%.
But yeah. So what are we talking about today?
Yeah. So we are talking a little bit deeper dive into AI. Right? You ran an experiment on the AI side. I've got something too that I ran. So I'm curious
I've got an idea, and I don't
where your head's at.
Yeah, I've got an idea. I don't. We haven't implemented it yet or tried anything, but I'll kind of explain what we're doing, and hopefully, like, people watching can. I would love feedback on this because we're kind of in the middle of brainstorming this idea. So if you have any thoughts, let us know in the comments because I'm pretty interested in this. So basically, we have a burger house location in Cherville, Indiana, and that's the one building that we don't own out of all of our restaurants. And we're kind of at a place now where our lease is coming up and we're deciding like, do we want to continue in that market? We don't live out there, so it's a little bit harder to keep tabs on everything, especially just with running things more pretty lean, where I have to do, I've explained that in previous episodes, where I do a lot of different things in an effort to be as efficient as possible and just save money. So our capacity is like limited, but we open Birdies and we're kind of at a place now where, you know, we're working on plenty, but we have to make a decision on, are we going to renew for the next 5-year option? After it was a 10-year lease, and then we have, I think, 2 5-year options. I can't remember if we have anything after that. But we're at that point now where we have to make a decision. And the Burger House location out there is not working as well as we'd like it to be. Like the one in Valpo is more successful and just stable. Part of that's just we know this community, and the community has a pretty good understanding of us and our restaurant group and all that. But the thought would be like we either, you know, give up and like sell the business for not much and to the building owner, and he would partner with someone and they would do a concept out there, or we come up with our own idea and do something different. But we're kind of pretty confident that we're not going to like keep the Burger House thing. Like either way, we either stop or we rebrand. So the thought was like, you know, run a social experiment where we engage the community. And I don't know if that means like just, you know, posting on Facebook and basically asking the people of like Cherville, Lake County, like, hey, what kind of restaurant do you guys want? There's a ton of chains out there. It's very saturated, but it is a great location. It's at the corner of 30 and 41. There, you know, I think long term, like there's going to continue to be growth in that area, and it's just a busy intersection. So the thought, like I said, would be just engaging the community, because then you get some buy-in from the community on like, you know, what do you want to see, and they get to like speak into that and be a part of that process.
That's cool.
And then from there, basically using AI, so basically you could say like, this is, you know, the first restaurant conceived by like the community and designed by AI, just kind of as like an experiment.
Yeah.
So that would be everything from designing. I mean, the restaurant, the kitchen space is already like, everything's built out. It would just be like a lot of cosmetic stuff, and then like coming up with the menu and changing out some of the equipment, the kitchen equipment. But a lot of it would be like just improving and enhancing the dining room and making the operations more efficient as a whole, like just making the bar more efficient. You could do some things to do that, and you know, maybe change a few things like structurally, like minor things to just make the restaurant more efficient. But like utilizing ChatGPT or whatever AI products you want to use to like go through that process and you know, from start to finish by designing and implementing this new like restaurant idea. So that was kind of the thought we had. And then I was thinking like, you know, as we try to grow our YouTube channels, like sometimes we've talked about like just roadblocks and like, what do I do the next video of? And I've kind of just reverted back to just working on my like shorts. Yeah. And which work well for me. I've continued to, you know, get subscribers through that, but, making a series where you start it from start to finish. So you record yourself basically explaining what I just explained. This is our idea. And then you go through that whole process over like the course of the year or the 6 months or whatever. And you bring the viewer into that entire process of you like asking AI questions. The cool thing about like AI is not only can you come up with your logo and it gives you some pretty good options, but you can also like take a picture of the space and be like, hey, this is our logo. These are the colors. This is the color scheme I kind of want you to use. and it'll redesign the image for you, you
Yeah.
know, and you can kind of tweak it along the way. Like, I want more decor on this wall. I want, you know, change the color of the mural that you did on this brick wall.
Yeah.
Or change the mural altogether. That's been the coolest thing with AI that I've been using a lot lately. And just even like coming into patio season, like taking a picture of our patio and saying like, make this patio space more attractive, you know, and it does a pretty good job with that. You're like, you look at that picture, you're like, that looks great. Like, let's do that. At the very least, it's entertaining, you know, to take a picture of a space and have AI like redesign it for you.
That's super interesting. I was actually watching a YouTuber this week, and he was talking about like, why does serial content work? Like the content that's in a series. And he said it can be as simple as just like open a loop that you don't close for the whole season. Mm-hmm. And in your case, the season would be the restaurant. Like, start each video with, I'm letting AI design my new restaurant. And then you don't even need to finish there. Mm-hmm. You know, you're just like, more updates coming soon. And then like, there's naturally a story already in that. Like, okay, what does the restaurant look like? How's it going to do this? Like, all these thoughts are going through people's heads. So you're automatically going to get more viewership because we as humans hate when loops are opened and not closed. Mm-hmm. And so once you start a video with an open loop like that,
like having the payoff at the end of the series.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, that's part of it. Like seeing what it's one thing to kind of see the design process, but on that last video of seeing the place come to life and like you can physically see it, you can see people in there like eating and enjoying it. And you're like, wow, that was cool to see. Like, as he was coming up with the ideas and he said like, no, change it this way, you know, like you're going through the entire process with the owner of like starting a restaurant. But I don't know if I would do this if we were starting a restaurant from the ground up, just because I feel like it would take so much effort and there's so many details and so much to cover when you're working with a contractor and you're like, you know, dealing with change orders and stuff. And it's like, how am I going to capture all of this in a video? But if you're doing it just like solely from like a cosmetic standpoint of like, we're just creating the vibe. Like the kitchen's done, the walk-in cooler's in there, everything's ready to go. It's just, how do we come up with a new brand and make the space reflect that and make it a cool place to hang out?
Yeah.
You know, like that's a little bit more like palatable in terms of I can execute on that and make a video and bring people into that process at least.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's too a format that I've seen work on a number of different sources is I see a lot of live streamers do this. Like, I let my chat spend $10,000 on Amazon, mm-hmm. or, you know, we let AI, whatever.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And so I think the video of, and even ads that like, we let the community design the restaurant they wanted.
I mean, you could
really,
even
really cool.
title the first video or the series like the first restaurant designed by the community and AI or something like that. You know, I think that alone's like pretty intriguing, and it's on me from there, you know, to make it like as interesting as possible to keep people around.
Yeah. Because the asking the community the question automatically gives you better retention. Mm-hmm. You know, like if I feel like I contributed to a restaurant's design, I'm so much more so much more likely to go there and eat sometime.
Yeah.
Right? Immediately when you started talking, I was like, okay, short form videos, you do stuff that you typically do, you know, you show your food shot. Mm-hmm. I think you kind of have to clickbait it a little bit and be like, new restaurant coming to Sherrville. Mm-hmm. So people like, oh, what is it? And you're showing a certain type of food, and then you let do like 10 or 15 of them with completely different types of food. Show a burrito in one and a steak in another, and like let the videos that we talked about. This with social media. If you do 10 or 15 of those, let the videos that do well kind of dictate the decision. All of them are titled new restaurant coming to Cherville, but it's you cooking a steak. And in the comments, you explain all this, right? You don't need to explain it like with a voiceover or anything, but just in the comments say like, hey, we're letting the community design the restaurant. What types of food do you want to see here? So you're getting both the comment section from them if they're engaged enough with it, but then you're also just getting the raw data of views. Like what does the steak one do 10,000 views and the taco one only does 200? Like that's a really good piece of data for there. Yeah. And you could even do simple let's try that again. Super simple ad targeting where you just target Cherville's zip code and run all these.
Well, and we're like in a big enough market to, close enough to Chicago where you might get some interesting people that like, I'll drive half an hour from the city to see this place that like came to life.
Yeah.
Through AI.
But what I'm saying is it's not hard to get pretty close to the whole city of Cherville to know about it ahead of time and feel like they've got a voice in it.
Yeah. And it's interesting enough, like to where, just through a Facebook post, if it got traction, which I think it would, because it's pretty interesting, then like, the newspapers would probably do a little story on it and stuff to where you'd get a lot of like organic exposure outside of just Facebook, through just it being interesting.
Yeah. I think maybe even to pay, like our area is really missing a really good local Northwest Indiana content creator that just talks about the stuff to do around here. Mm-hmm. But if there were a person like that, to pay them to be like reaction videos to your videos, somebody that had a little bit of a following that like, and get people thinking about posting their own reaction videos and
and there's a lot of like, there isn't that, but there's a lot of, news companies like digital content, like with Local 219 and
Valpo Life.
Yeah. So and we'll see what happens. We're still kind of like in that process where we're trying to decide like, do we even want to stick with it out there?
Yeah.
But the building owner doesn't really want to pay a whole lot to buy the equipment and the furniture and the liquor license, and the liquor license alone is pretty valuable in that market. And it's tough to just like give everything away for like less than what I think the liquor license is worth or what I could get from it if I sold it through a lawyer.
Yeah. Why do you not want to keep running a burger house out there?
Well, there's a lot of burger restaurants in that market, and I feel like part of it too is what I think is cool in terms of like from just a design standpoint has changed a lot in the last 10 years. Like the space is like very industrial and like barnwood and stuff, and I'm not really into that, So that's just part of it. I think from a
have you seen all the reels and memes on Instagram of like it'll show 4 things. It's like the metal chair, the barnwood, and it'll be like burger costs $19.
Yeah. So it's even the burger house here. It looks, we haven't really updated it, since we opened. Other than, we got new booths and new tables and chairs, but just from a feel standpoint, it doesn't really feel like super unique, like I would say it does in here or some of our other places. So it's a little tired in that sense, and like just from a sales standpoint, like we aren't losing money at that location, but I just feel like in that market it could be so much better because there's so many people out there. So it's kind of like, okay, there's Red Robin down the street, there's Five Guys down the street. There aren't like maybe a ton of upscale burger joints, but I don't know in that community if that's what people want, because there are so many chains, and I feel like we get like lumped in with those corporate places. So if you're not like real unique, or it doesn't feel like this is a local restaurant, then we get people. I think sometimes people think like it's a franchise, and it just gets, because it was it was pretty well done 12 years ago when we like came up with the logo and all that. You know, they did a good job, but
yeah, it doesn't feel like a mom and pop though either. Definitely
right.
not. Yeah.
So you know, I just feel like it kind of needs a change. Like the food's good, like we get good reviews, and
Yeah.
But and part of it also is we're not doing the volume to like have a really strong manager out there. Like my manager he's great, but he was really a kitchen manager, and when my manager at the time quit, it was kind of like, well, if you can run it, we can save money, and and he's done a good job with it, but it's just that's not his background. So like if you change the concept and you get a lot of excitement, and you like, I would go into it structuring it completely differently, because that's your opportunity to do that, and have like a really, really strong manager, have him, you know, go back to, you know, focusing on the kitchen, which is what he's passionate about and really good at, and, you know, have a really top notch like bar and bartenders, and, you know, just kind of like revamp everything.
Yeah.
But you're starting with a base of, we've got a lot of our staff. We might need to add more people. We might need to like, you know, try and get some higher quality staff in there. But if it's like an elevated experience, but we're starting with a base of, you know, of our team's already like somewhat built, and that makes it a lot easier. Like you're not starting a restaurant from the ground up, but you kind of are at the same time.
Yeah.
So I just think it's time for a change, you know, whether that's us or someone else. So I'm curious to get, you know, feedback from other people, from my friends, you know, people that are good business people. And then just if anyone has ideas like from watching this, or, you know, as I start to make videos like on my YouTube channel, I'll be like very interested in what kind of like what people think, if that's like a good idea.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think? So you've used some AI to develop some of the tools around like a new concept, right? What's something that you've seen from the AI that has surprised you?
Well, the whole like redesigning a space is like blew my mind when I first saw that. I saw someone on like Twitter post an example video of that, like where it had, you know, the post was like interior designers, their jobs are going to become irrelevant at some point.
Yeah.
And that was basically what it was showing. Like, take a picture of a space and AI will redesign it for you. And I've just been surprised. Like sometimes it's like, oh, that it doesn't even know what you know, it's way off. And other times it's been very impressive. And you can just, like I said, tweak it along the way to like make sure it understands and produce a really good image. So I that was like pretty eye-opening to me, because I really like my designer. She does a great job, but you know, that's to have her do that space would probably be $6,000 to $10,000.
Yeah.
And you know, what if we just did it ourselves and it was good enough, you know? And
Yeah.
and that's the draw of the idea of coming up like AI design this space,
Yeah.
you know, like so that I think like, you know, like coming up with features like for our restaurants. We've done a little bit of that where it helps come up with ideas and it can cost things out. I mean, it's crazy. Like the last month, I feel like anytime I want to do a Google search, I end up doing a ChatGPT search. Like it could be something basic, like what movie should I watch or whatever. But I find myself when it was always like Google this or Google that. Now, like for me at least now, it's every single time it's looking on ChatGPT.
Yeah. It's crazy. I've even started, I'm not confident enough to trust it, but I have started to ask it like, hey, what are the side setbacks for Valparaiso in this zoning district? You know, like, so I don't have to pour through code books anymore. So for the design inspo images, was that all ChatGPT? Or were you using another?
I haven't really, I mean, that's all I've done so far.
Okay, you haven't explored any other like AI?
No,
software.
I don't
Okay.
really know much else other than ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I haven't experimented with other softwares out there.
Yeah.
Have you? You mentioned that one.
Yeah, so there's one I have for scheduling, which is pretty cool. It's not perfect. It's was it Motion. And it like automatically fills in my schedule based on how much time
Yeah.
I anticipate, which is cool. And then there's a bunch that I've tried here and there for like 3D renderings. I'm actually surprised. I get a lot of clients that will, in their inspo images, will include a AI house that they plugged in that they like. You can always tell because the house doesn't match anything that would logically make a floor plan. Or there's like a error with the roof line or something. But it is really helpful in like on a black and white farmhouse that's 2 stories with a big, you can't always get that image exactly. And it is a lot quicker. And
I tried doing that where I was just curious because we've done some like you kind of worked on our home design a long time ago. This was a while back, and so we've got some home design stuff that we've had done over the years, and we're not in a place to build or anything. But I thought it was interesting to I thought it would be interesting to take those images and put it into ChatGPT and say like redesign the space based on the fact that we want to put the bedrooms in the basement because we want to do a ranch and we want the square footage to be 3,000 square feet instead of 4,000 square feet, and it comes up with stuff, but like nothing that like I liked,
it still doesn't understand floor plans. It'll make an image for you. Like if I have a half built 3D model, I'll throw it in ChatGPT or whatever, and it can make me a color rendering that looks kind of nice. But do you have anything else on the new restaurant front?
No, I might pop back to it at some point if you say something that gets my wheel spinning. But.
Yeah, so I did a floor plan review for a client this week, and I've realized I love this service and want to like hammer down on it. It is extremely low liability for me. It's 30 minutes of advice in a Zoom meeting. Usually they end the meeting and they're like so appreciative, like, "Oh, this is so much great info. Thank you for taking your time." And like. My hourly rate is great on these. So I love the low liability, almost no stress. Hourly rate is really solid. So I do, 1 to 4 or 5 a month. I'd love to get that to where I'm doing like 1 a day, really make this a part of my business. So I asked ChatGPT, how do I like expand this? And I also, remind me about the social ad because I'm doing an experiment there too. So ChatGPT gave me a 7-part process for how to incorporate this in my business. And there was a bunch of stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, dang, need to do that. Because I've got it and it's up, but it's not functioning like on all cylinders. Define your service clearly. I think my page on the website talks about some of this, but like what you offer, is it functional layout critique? Is it code and zoning issues? Like I need to specify between those. Buildability / red flags. I think I need to add that note in there as well. And then deliverables, like put somewhere on my website, what are they actually getting? Is it a, recorded Zoom meeting? All that. Number 2 is create tiered proposals. We've talked about that before. Like I definitely need to do that. A basic one that doesn't have a meeting, a standard one, and a premium one that, maybe pulling up AutoCAD. So yeah, there's a lot of like really good stuff in here. I'm like, oh crap, man. Kind of need to get on this if I really, really want to do it.
The planning stuff, I feel like it can be really helpful with that. And just like organizing your thoughts almost better than how you can organize them.
Yeah.
Like even with the new restaurant, and a thought would be so we have a lot of restaurants in town, and you could look at the product mix report from each restaurant and look at what your best selling items are and kind of like say like, all right, this is going to be the in terms of the food, this is going to be the new, what we're going to serve at the new restaurant. And then you could say, all right, well, we only have, a couple 100 square feet of dry storage space. We have a really big walk-in cooler. Our line is, 18 feet. And this is what we have on the line. Let me know and we have 165 seats. So give me a menu based on these items that are easy to execute and what kind of kitchen equipment I would need or what I would need to change to execute that efficiently, and factor in the fact that we only have like one prep area with a couple hundred square feet of dry storage space, but we have a big walk-in cooler, and it, maybe it could come up with something based on that, help you think through things much more efficiently. It might not be able to like design a home real well or like take a drawing and do that, but it's I feel like it's been pretty good at, organizing and planning and helping you think through things quicker.
That's awesome. Have you tried that?
No, I was just thinking about that. I will.
Yeah, you should. It's really, really good at the corporate stuff. I feel like it's had a lot of that in its training model, whatever they did for it. Because anytime I try and go down this path, there's so much low hanging fruit. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to add that and get after that.
Are there any other like really big ways that like you could use AI that you feel like could really impact your business? I mean, I think the biggest thing, or one of the big things for you, is like, because you don't have extra employees, my thought would be like, what are the things I can take off my plate because I don't have someone, secretary or, like what can I do to grow my business without having to add employees?
It's almost like what I really want. I spend way too much time on digging around and finding notes from clients. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they text me, sometimes they'll email me, sometimes it's on a Pinterest board. Like I had one client use Notion and share his file with me. Like all that stuff's fine. I'm here for it, but it's almost like I need an AI to be in all those places and pull it out and put it in one place for me.
Yeah.
Like just make a master client notes. I feel like that shockingly would save me a ton of time.
Have you seen that? There's like a Instagram ad or Facebook ad for, I can't think of the name of the company, but it's basically like these little action figure guys, but they're AI guys. So they like you can buy like one, and it's like, this is the marketing guy, and this is the scheduling guy, and it sounds super lame.
I'm gonna Google action figure AI guy.
Yeah, or ChatGPT it.
No, this is not it.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you. When I find it, I'll send it to you. But
we'll put it on the video.
Yeah,
right there.
Link below. Maybe not though. I don't remember to do that. But that's kind of the concept. Is like I can't. Maybe not all those little guys work for you, but like maybe you have someone that handles the marketing. And I don't know if it's effective or not. I mean, that's kind of the concept. Is like you need employees, but you don't want to pay. You don't need employees, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like to grow the business and all that.
Yeah,
like
right.
you would need people working for you to scale that. But like, what if you had these little action figure AI guys doing that for you?
Yeah. 100%. I think that'd be awesome. I'm on ChatGPT and I couldn't find anything.
Yeah. I'll find it.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
AI task agents?
That might be it.
Magi?
No. It might be something like that, though.
Okay. Like, it's funny just saying this. We're in a day and age now where that probably does exist. I just haven't searched it up.
Yeah.
Or found it in the right place yet.
And I'm sure something like that, just like ChatGPT, if you want the full capabilities, you're paying $20 a month. Something like that might be like, okay, I don't have to pay, this person $60,000 a year, but like there's going to be a fee, a monthly fee associated with how many of these guys you want handling different departments.
Yeah.
And is it effective, more effective than hiring actual employees or not? Like that's the question really. You know, at this point, that people it depends, no one really knows because everything's developing still.
Yeah. Do you feel like the paid version of ChatGPT is worth it?
I was gonna look that up. Like, what does this even provide?
Yeah, so there's 3 tiers. I looked this up this week. I'm on the free tier. You are, well, I forget
I
what
pay
the
like
tiers.
$20 a month.
$20
because
a month.
I just wanted the full capabilities, especially going through the process that I've talked about. Like, if it's gonna not give me the best information or the best, image creation, like that's what I want.
And then there's like a $200 a month tier. That's like the full experimental operator mode and all this stuff.
Do you know what they all provide? Like,
I need to do a deeper dive. Maybe we'll do that.
Do you have
next
an
week.
idea of like paid versus at least paid versus not paid?
So everything, my understanding is, first off, it's priority. The more you pay, the faster you get to work on their servers. So like if you ever generated an image and it takes like forever, especially on the free version, it takes a long, long time. I'll go and do something else. The more you pay, the higher up you are on that list when they make images.
Yeah.
So if you're on the full version, I'm sure it just makes it immediately for you.
It still takes some time. I mean, it'll take, if I have them redesigning a space, it'll take, I would say, a minute to 2 minutes. Yeah, minute to minute and a half, probably. It takes you like 5 minutes, probably, for something like
that. It's still probably around there, maybe slightly longer. It's all their reasoning models. Unlimited access to advanced voice, video and screen sharing. So there's probably a lot of like audio and video stuff you can make with it.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely not using it to its full potential.
Yeah. Sora video generation, research preview of operator. So operator, as I understand it, like helps you with coding and can actually like, maybe this is what I'm looking for and describing and I just haven't researched it enough, but, I don't know. I feel like I should just try it. Cause $200 a month, that's a lot, but if it's way less than hiring someone. And if if it saves me more than a few hours a month, it's worth it. And I probably spend a few hours a month looking around for notes.
Yeah. Yeah. I had, I really like the, asking it questions about IT stuff because I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of how to like set up routers and how systems work and how to, I've talked about Toast here, a POS system, like how to navigate through issues that we have with that kind of stuff. But I, like anyone, you hit a point where it's like, all right, this is when I need to call out the professionals.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to figure out how can I pay for, a lot of like TV and internet services at all my restaurants. And I was like trying to figure out how to get the Cubs games on at home because I don't have Fubo and that's the only way you can get marquee network. So I was like, well, I get it through Nitco, but I can't get Nitco service at my house. So,
oh yeah.
So I was like, well, what if I get a VPN that masks that IP address? Maybe I shouldn't be saying
admitting to crimes on the podcast. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. I give them so much money. But yeah, it worked.
It told you exactly what to do. That's awesome.
Yeah, like get this router, and then you can set up a VPN and mask. It goes through that whole process. I wouldn't know how to do that. But and then if I have a question, wait, this what you're telling me to click on isn't showing up. And then be like, okay, is this showing up? Yeah. And then you click on that. And then you just figure it out,
Yeah.
But like it's fun to be able to problem solve when it's something that you kind of understand, but like you wouldn't be able to do it completely on your own. And like, what are you going to do? Google that? Like you'd have to go down rabbit holes on Reddit or something.
Yeah.
To figure it out. So like, I don't know. It's kind of, it's cool to like go through that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like set up servers or VPNs or whatever when you understand the concept, but like you've never gone through that process.
Oh, that's interesting.
Before.
Yeah. I think it could be so many companies, IT departments, because everything's out there.
Yeah.
Like every problem you've ever had is someone posted it somewhere on Reddit.
I would love that. I would love to not have an IT company working for us because it's over $1,000 a month, and most of the time I don't use them, and anytime I do want to use them, that's just like a retainer basically.
Yeah.
So anytime I want to use an IT company, or call them out to like, this isn't working properly, I feel like I'm paying extra.
Dang.
On top of that, and And we can split that bill up between all the companies, or all the restaurants. So like we get value, or it's not, it's not like as expensive as it would be. But, really like the main thing that they're doing is like, it's like backups for QuickBooks, like that's the main thing.
Should we just start an IT company and use ChatGPT for all our answers? I'm serious, man.
I mean, I would say maybe, but like it takes time and energy to like just start a business.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I got a guy though. I got a buddy. I'll circle back with you on that one. I got a buddy that might be interested in something like that.
At the very least though, what I'm saying is like I feel like I could manage most of it myself. It's just you just have it there because of like the QuickBooks backups. And when you get into like servers and firewalls, it's like, all right, this is kind of where I hit my limit. And how much time do I want to invest in like fixing or understanding how to properly manage this or set this stuff up, Right. But yeah, there might be something there.
That's awesome.
But I do think, for people listening, it's like using AI to your advantage to like figure out what types of businesses are easy to learn and understand and troubleshoot with the help of AI.
Yeah.
And there might be something there,
Yeah. I think I watch and listen to a lot of Gary Vee, and he's always talking about this stuff. And he's like, AI is coming whether you want it to or not. Like, at least do yourself and your business the favor of understanding it as much as you can. You don't have to use any of this stuff, but don't let it be the reason you go out of business either. Like, if you're smart, there's nothing to be afraid of with AI. You're going to figure it out. And if you're dumb and refuse to pay attention to this stuff, like those are the people it's going to go after first.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. I think at the very least, just like finding the time to, when you have the downtime, like for me, finding the downtime and then really asking it to like help me grow my existing businesses, whether it's like asking it, what are the most effective ways to market? And then and then from there, like helping you generate, whether it's like a billboard, Facebook ad, direct mail, whatever, like having it assist you in generating a very effective piece that can help grow your business. And I think if you just have the time to like sit down and work through that, I think it could really help grow your business.
For sure. I feel like I'm always missing that step of like, I've got an idea. Okay, let me research the extent and the branches of this idea in ChatGPT. I'm like, oh, there's another 15 great ideas that I need to also implement. And then I get bogged down with implementation. Like, it doesn't know my business well enough to really implement something. Like, I want to be like, okay, great. Now put this on my website, and it's not there yet. And again, I've seen and heard things that like Operator is there and can get you there, but that's the like ultra pro tier of ChatGPT. But
can it could it redesign your website? Could you say like redesign my website to be more effective and keep people engaged longer? Like, and it could be like the appearance of the website, but it could also be like how you structure, like what's the first thing you see versus like if you scroll down, what do you see?
Yeah.
Like again, there's time and energy involved in that because, you're the one that has to do that.
Uh-huh.
But that's just an idea of like, that could be a helpful way to get people, not only directed to your website, but getting them to like stay on your website longer.
I feel like if I did that now with the free tier of ChatGPT, it'd give me one of two things: either an image of that looked near my website but wasn't really postable because it had, incorrect things in it, or it'd give me some paragraphs and bullet points of common knowledge of website design that probably some of which I'm not implementing and would be good for me to do, but I think it would fall short of, at least again, the free version would fall short of getting a solid postable thing that I could just one click be like, okay, great, that website looks awesome. Now it's burnhamdesign.com is now that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, I wanted to circle back on one thing, unless you got more stuff on this.
No.
So I mentioned I'm running a test. I posted a test this morning. I mentioned a few weeks ago, social media side. I'm running an ad campaign on Instagram for plan review service. I posted a 7-second long video like, hey, if you have a floor plan, you want somebody to review it, I'm your guy, hit the link. So I posted that, and now I'm running a targeted ad on that. The only target I'm running is my followers. So people...
Why would you do your followers and not followers and their friends, or followers like your followers? Can you do that?
I can. My thought is, so I'm right around...
You're doing it on Instagram, you said?
Yeah. I'm right around 16,000 followers on Instagram. I think the conversion will be higher if it's somebody that interacted with me. And follower is a high interaction. That's someone out there is saying, yeah, I want to hear more about what this guy has to say. So that's my hope, is that it converts at a higher rate, because it's not the first time they've seen my face.
Right.
I feel like that's a hard sell if it is the first time. And I don't do much selling on my social at all, but I do feel like that's a really hard sell if it is a broadcast ad and you've never seen me before. Hey, do you have floor plans? I review them. Click the link. They might be like, oh, I have a floor plan, I want to know more, and watch a bunch of other videos, which is cool, but I don't think I'm going to get, people to pay money unless they follow me.
So did you already post it?
I posted this morning. I don't know. Have
So was it a video or was it a picture?
I posted a video just running on Instagram.
What was the video? What was the premise, or like how did it go?
It's basically that, like, hey, do you have an existing floor plan? You want a second set of eyes on it?
Okay. So since we talked about the whole like format for ads, that Walmart and all those, have you paid attention to like commercials and stuff and kind of like thought through that anymore?
Yeah, I'm thinking through that a lot. I think there's some companies that still do it and still do it hard. I think there's other companies that are going away from that like crazy.
I almost see it, at least a glimpse of it in every single ad.
Yeah, like
it's not in your face like I said, a podcast script ad, but like I feel like it's always there now. Like it's always there. I'm always noticing it.
Yeah. So I think of companies like Liberty and Geico, where yes, they do put their features and benefits in, and then that's kind of what were the three again? Let me read them again. So we're circling back to the social media episode. Every ad, Evan, you brought up, every ad follows the script of, you start with an accepted consumer belief. Usually it's something negative, and then you go to the benefit of your product or service, and then the reason to believe is the close.
Yeah.
And so I see things like insurance companies where it does start with interest. They're starting with a joke or something like an emu.
Yeah.
That's like, it has nothing to do with accepted consumer belief. It's just a thing, a gecko. It's just a thing to get your attention.
So you have that, and then you have the emotional ads, which that would fall in the emotional ads. Like that's funny and cute.
But I do see, you are right in that if they're paying ad money for it, they will get at least their core features. So that's benefit, the core features of their product. Geico and Liberty both do, I'm sure other insurance companies are great at this too, but both do a good job at putting, 10 minutes or less could save you, I forget how many dollars on 10% on car insurance. It's really quick, but that's the feature and the benefit. Reason to believe, I don't feel like is there though. I'm thinking of the emu commercial where he walks away from his home as he's growing up. He's like, emus can't help people save money on their car insurance. Like, okay, that accepted consumer belief is in there.
But isn't it kind of insinuating like we know what we're doing and we've got a proven track record and we help people save money?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So I was thinking like with your ad, you could, if you did it like POV vlog style, like working with an architect is, let's be honest, it's super expensive. Just formatting it in that way. And
I should do an A/B test of like,
and then features and benefits. Send me, hey, I'm Adam from Burnham Design. Send me your floor plan, I'm doing this for the month of whatever. Send me your floor plan and for whatever the price is. I'll review your plan and give you good, helpful feedback very quickly. So you don't have to sign a contract with an architect and redesign your whole house. You can take and then a reason to believe would be like, I don't know, like I've worked with however many clients and happy clients, and I know basically saying like what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you've got a proven track record, and you've been doing it for however many years. You
yeah.
know?
So 2 things here. One, I should run an A/B test on that. I should post like just a more traditional, go through the 3 stages. Yeah, that's a great idea. 2, though, going back to like targeting my followers, is I feel like that's part of just realizing now that's part of the reason you target your followers is because they've already been through this process. Because they're following me and seen my videos. I've talked a ton about accepted consumer beliefs and why, I can do it a better way. Like if they've seen one of my videos, they've seen that in there somewhere.
Yeah, but they're not. The argument is they're not watching that right now. They're watching your ad right now. And maybe they haven't seen all of your videos. You can't just assume like the people that this ad is reaching, they've watched all your content. So the point would be like to very quickly and effectively go through that format to get the most bang for your buck on that specific ad.
Just because they're a follower, they might have seen something where I'm talking accepted consumer belief for the benefits of my service. Like I think it's pretty clear if you follow me and you're like island size, you can see the benefits of my service because I know exactly how big an island should be in your space. I think it's a very clear benefit. But to your point, I'm not saying it in that exact video. So I'm hoping that whoever's following me remembers that video, but I'm not guaranteed, right?
Yeah, well,
Is that your point?
and maybe the structure of the ad, that format of like how you're supposed to make the most effective ads, maybe there's something to that to where you get more, you get people locked in easier because that format's really expensive or effective. So like think about any time you've ordered something online, it's like, I've heard of, Fabletics for a long time, but I placed a big order for $200 because I saw an ad that like was $10 golf pants. And I was like, $10 golf pants? Like I'll get 6 of them,
yeah.
And then they're upselling me on stuff. So I've known about Fabletics,
yep.
But like, I think with the way that they marketed to me, they got me,
Yeah. I talk about here too, and that's breaking out that type of advertising versus branding. So that type of advertising is more sales focused. You're trying to convert an eyeball into a lead into a customer, right? And that process can and should be there all the time. There's also a ton of ad money spent on just branding. I'm thinking of companies like Nike that are sponsoring Olympic athletes, just to put their shoes and their symbol on their gear, or Red Bull that sponsors an F1 car, or like a ton of extreme sports athletes. Like they're spending all this money so that Red Bull is always in front of your face. Anytime you're at the gas station, you're like, oh, I want to be just like Max Verstappen, so I'm going to have a Red Bull.
Yeah.
when I, and so that is another amazing way to do sales. And you don't need the sales process in there because you're embedded in that person's psyche. You think of like ChatGPT or Ask Alexa, like you here at Lenny's don't want people to be like, hey, ChatGPT, what's the best pizza place near me? You want people to be like, hey, ChatGPT, what's the availability at Lenny's tonight?
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
And so the brand does that. And that's what social media does as well, is if I'm giving out all this helpful information, I'm closer to in that person's head enough so that they're like, hey, how do I, when they're typing in ChatGPT, they're not like, hey, give us the best home designers in Valparaiso. They're saying, how do I contact Burnham Design Co.? That's what I want. And that's my goal with social media.
Yeah.
But I think to your point, me running a specific ad, I definitely should try that.
Yeah.
Of like A/B tested the short form one that I have going up and then post a longer.
I mean, at the very least, it'd be interesting for you to do it both ways and like compare. You've got the ad running, do another one, and then like report back and let us know like
Yeah,
what's
100%.
most
Love that.
effective. Yeah. Cool. All right.
Sweet.
Good times.
Good times. All right. Well,
Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe.
put so many things in the comments.
Yep.